Hi, hello, I'm Aubrey, and welcome to Joy Knits and my little corner of the internet where there's not enough time for my time consuming hobbies. If you're new here, hi, hello. If you're not new here and you're coming back, welcome back, thank you. Today I have a podcast episode for you. It's going to be a normal podcast episode format. So finished objects, work in progress, and acquisitions probably. So let's get right into it. So with finished objects, I'm wearing my first finished object, which is my only garment for this week. It is my Semper sweater by the Knit Purl Girl. I'll put up some photos of me standing up with it. But it is a knitting for olive merino held double and the soft silk mohair, and both in the color claret. It is this really nice burgundy color. I really like it. It is a raglan shaping. And you see here there's only like a one stitch raglan, double folded collar. What? Double folded? Double knit? Huh? It's a folded collar. And then there's a double knitting on the ribbed edge here, and one by one. And then I did like 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters? My coffee hasn't kicked in. 3 inches of centimeters. Pause. 3 inches of ribbing here on the cuff. And then I think I did like 1.5 to 2 inches down here. I knit the size E, and my gauge was off by like 2 stitches. It was larger than by 2 stitches. So I was going to knit the size F, but I sized down to the size E to get the size F. And I'm pretty bang on for it. I think I was like 21.5 inches for the whole like width. Then you times that by 2, and that's about 43-ish inches. So that's perfect for me. My perfect sweater size is around the 43-44 inch bust circumference, and I really like it so far. I am wearing like a long sleeve under it just because it was like 30 degrees here in Washington. I'm based in the like northern Seattle area of Washington, and the past couple of weeks we've had like a cold front, so it's been like 30 degrees here every day, if not lower, which me personally I love because I get to wear my knits. And my house is so old that it's not insulated well and it's freezing downstairs. So having these hand knit items is very nice. But right now I'm a little toasty. But I think in like the next week it's supposed to get higher up in temperature, so getting as much wear as I can out of this as possible. And the story behind me wearing like a burgundy sweater is I had a burgundy sweater from Old Navy that I wore, and I think there was some wool content in there, but then I washed it and I dried it, and I didn't know. So it got super freaking itchy and just disgusting. So I had to like throw that away. And I was like, you know what? I can make my own burgundy sweater. So that is what this is. I really like it so far. The mohair is just a tad bit itchy for me, but I will get used to it. But it is very soft to the touch. It's a little itchy up here on the neckline. One thing I would say about this is that the neckline is pretty big. I have an elastic in here, you can see, and yes, it helps. I think I tightened it a bit too much, so it's a bit scrunched, and I kind of have to like pull it to make sure it shapes okay. Um, if you were to knit this, I would size down to like at least 1 or 2 sizes, depending on the neckline numbers, and then increase when you join or increase in the first row to get to the size that you need. Personally, if you want like a tighter fit neck or a tighter neck than what this is, because it's just pretty loose. I will say, like with raglans though, that's like a common occurrence I've seen in my knits, because my Monday sweater by Petite Knit is raglan. That's like the most famous raglan sweater, and the neckline is just a little bit big, but that's okay. Um, Another thing about this yarn is it bled like crazy when I blocked it. I was gonna wash my socks with it, like in the same water, but then I saw it was turning like red. I was like, oh shit, need to take those socks out before they get all stained pink or something. And yeah, I don't know why it bled so much. So just full warning. I haven't washed it again. I probably should have rinsed it out a little bit to see if it was like still bleeding. But if I wash it again, I will let y'all know or just make a note of it. But yeah, that is my Semper sweater by Sophie from the Knit Purl Girl, my first finished object. My second one, I haven't blocked yet, but this knit has been on my needles for like a year. Oh, I was gonna do something today where I was gonna write down when I finished and or like started and finished projects. I will put that up here for my projects. I know I started this one in March of last year and I finished it this past week. So this is the Holger sweater by Petite Knit. Oh, he's so cute. It is in the size 1 to 2 years, but I think I did like the first size, but getting the 1 to 2 year size because this is knit on 4mm needles and the gauge is pretty chunky. Like it's a pretty chunky knit. I knit this in Knit and Crochet Essential Wool from Joann's in a gray color and this really bright teal color. I actually love this. I have yarn to make one in a matching pink set. So you'd have like teal and pink. Um, I've yet to block it, and it definitely needs a block. The sleeves, I'm still scared of because I don't know, like, this is such a wide body for tiny little sleeves, and I don't know. We'll see. I literally had like maybe that much of the teal left. So if I were to do it, I'd probably change the neckline to white or the gray color just to match the other ribbings or like other rib colors. And then probably may have the collar go into the sleeves a little bit, add an extra row or two. But I love this so far. No one I know is pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I don't plan on having kids soon, but I'm just making a little baby wardrobe capsule thing. Because I can. And they don't take as long, but I say that and this took me almost a year. So um we will see. But yeah, that's my Holger sweater and that was my finished object. Oh, I finished some spinning. So Andrea Mowry is having a jaunty spin along with um, some spinner maker of spinners, whatever that is. And I wanted to join along, so I've already finished and I've shown my blue yarn that I'm using, which is Pavlova. Let me just get it, one second. So this is the blue yarn that I'm using with it. This is Pavlova by the Little Fiber Co. And then the contrast, well, this is the contrast color. My second color is Brioche by Little Fiber Co. These are both in American Rambouillet. And it's very nice. It's a very peachy or like very pink cream color. This is just like the mini skein that I had left. And the main one is drying in a closet on a hanger because that's all I had and that's the best way to dry it. And these two are going to be paired together. As soon as that ball is dried, I'm going to take some cute photos or that hank is dried and then I'm going to cast this on because since it's so cold here, I really, really, really want this. So these are going to be them together and oh, that's just so freaking pretty. It's so pretty. Okay. So yes, that's my finished spin. Um that's all my like finished objects for right now. And on to whips. So my first one is some socks that I'm making for my mom. And I will just show the one sock that I finished. These are the Hermione Everyday socks. And again, I will put up timestamps of when I started and finished all of this stuff, or at least started. But this is the first one. It is in a gray drizzle fibers of this dark blue color. And then Twisted Ambitions, I think, in the color Juniper, is this blue speckled yarn. I freaking love it so far. I cast it on 60 stitches, did a heel flap and gusset, and then a wedge toe. We have stitch markers on the other side to say how many stitches I did for the foot. And the Hermione's Everyday sock is very textured. There we go, we can see it more in the shadows. I love this so far. It actually fits my foot so well. These are a gift knit for my mom, her second pair of movie socks. And I have the second pair casted on. It is on 2.25 millimeter needles. This is literally all I have. And that's a very cute little stitch marker. Leaf. I very much liked working on this. I like working on socks, especially at work. As we know, I work night shift at a hospital, and sometimes we can have slow nights, sometimes they're chaotic nights, and I have to be able to have something that I can just throw down if I need to go answer a patient call light or a bed alarm. So socks are super easy, and I love these so much. Hopefully I get these finished and by my next podcast. Okay, next. So these are a pair of mittens that I'm making, and this is this is my hand spun. I can't remember. I know I got this from, where is it? Stranded by the Sea, which is a yarn store in Edmonds here in Seattle, Washington area. And this was my first real spin, and I'm making a pair of mittens out of it. So it kind of reminds me of Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and just from the colors and how it's working up at the moment. This is how it's working up so far. So I have a 22 stitch cuff, or 22 row cuff, 36 stitches, I believe. And then there's the thumb gusset on the back here. And they're going to be full-fledged mittens just because it's been so cold here, and since I work night shift, I'm getting off at 8 in the morning. So it's super cold, but I'm really liking these so far. I'm about to split for the thumb, and let's see if they're on 3 millimeter needles, and it's working up really nice. I always forget how much fun mittens are. So yeah, that's kind of how it looks on my hand so far. I did have a little bit more worked up, but I cast it on 48 stitches, and that was just too big, and I only have this one ball, and I think I might have had to throw away a little bit of it because I overspun it. And this is definitely my first spin on my spinning wheel, because some of it, I was still just figuring out how to spin on a spinning wheel, or on my e-spinner actually. So some parts are super overspun, some parts are lightly spun. So, but yeah, they're going to be amazing for mittens. I'm already so excited. I could not tell you what composition this is. I have no idea. All I know is that it's purple, green, and blue. But yeah, that's my hand spun turning into a mitten. We have that. Second is my own design. This is my Monica sweater. This is after very much loosely inspired by a sweater that Monica wears in season 4 of Friends. And this is what I have so far. This is the front drop shoulder worked, or color work front and back, worked flat, and then sleeve, and you have color work on the sleeve as well, with a 3-inch cuff and double knitting on the cuff here, and then 2-layer bind off. I really like this. I have to cast on for the second sleeve, and the stitch definition and the color is just amazing. I love this so much so far. I can't wait to finish it though. It's just amazing. But yeah, we have these very nice neck details and a folded collar, kind of chunky, but I like that part of it. And then the back is just knit flat, and then you do short rows on the shoulder here just to create the short row area. And I am working on the pattern for it. I'm trying to find a tech editor. We're figuring that out, but oh, I love it so much. I'm grading it as I go because I've made a couple of sweaters, like my Wolf Lake sweater, for example. I made it just for my size, and I want to make more sizes for it, like a whole pattern, but now I'm trying to go back and remember what I did with the numbers. That's the one thing about designing that I don't much like is the math and knitting, or like knitting math, and it's just a lot. And this one has been so difficult. I think I frogged like every section of it. So I decreased, so you can see all my little stitches there. I decreased the amount of like rows per decrease by like one for this, just because it's like a smidgen too long for my arms. It hits like already, like where this hits, like it already hits right there without it being blocked. And I know it's a drop shoulder, I know it's going to drop way more, but I love the color work detail on the cuff here. Oh, just love it so much. But yeah, so it's a little, because you have decreases, like your normal decreases, and then you have decreases in the color work to then make it to the cuff, and then the cuff has its own decreases just to try and cinch it in a little bit more. And then once you get to the color work, a bunch of the sizes all have the same stitch counts. So once you get done with the color work, then you can see how far you're at on the sleeve if you need to add more or go right into ribbing like I did here. But and then if you can have less ribbing or more ribbing. But sometimes I do like to like cuff my sleeves a bit just in case I'm working on something and I don't entirely want to take away the color work. So that's why I did the 3-inch cuff. That way you can cuff it without like taking away from the color work. Because then if you do, then you get to see your floats and my non-weaved in ends. But yeah, this is in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted. And the main color is Peacoat. Really nice, even navy color. Main contrast color 1, or contrast color 1, is Dove Heather. This is all I have left from 1 gram or 1 ball. So for my size that I'm knitting is size 3, which is true to my bust measurement, like the size according to my bust measurement. I've only used 1 skein so far, and I think I'm only going to need the rest of this for the other sleeve portion. So I think you could only get away with like 1 ball for size 3. And then the contrast color 2, which you only use like maybe less than 20 grams of, is Fjord Heather. This nice teal color. And I already have yarn for a second sample, and I showed that in my stash tour video if you want to go check that out. That was last week's video, or my previous video from this. And once I get that sweater done and the pattern done and tech edited, I really want to knit the second size, or the 4th size, I mean, which is going to be the second sample. It's going to be a size up and more true to what I would probably knit for if I were to knit this pattern just regularly. Because then it has about 44 inches of positive, or 44-inch bust circumference, which I said at the beginning of this video is my preferred like comfy sweater that I would wear. So yeah, I'm hopefully, fingers crossed, I get into that pretty soon. So my last like work in progress is a spinning work in progress. So for my birthday, I got a bigger e-spinner, and it is the EEW 6.1, and so it can hold up to 8 ounces of fiber, and I've spun up about 2 ounces of this really pretty tweed yarn. And I just spun this up. This is fiber from Walnut Farm. Excuse the crinkling. Walnut Farms, Rhubarb Crumble. As you can see, it's Polwarth and South American wool and viscose tweed. I really like it. It's very much a like neutral peach tone. And as it's being spun up, you can definitely see the peaches coming through a lot more. And I really like it. I kind of just chose this fiber to spin with this just because I don't really have any plans for it, and I wanted to test out my new spinner. I tried to test it out to apply the brioche color, and I just over twisted the crap out of it like it was literal ramen noodles. It just didn't look good, so I just went back to my other spinner that I already know how to apply on. So yeah, but I am planning on spinning the rest of this soon, applying it and making a hat out of it, hopefully. Again, it's freezing here, and a handspun yarn is just so cool. But I'm also so happy that I did figure out how to just like use this spinner, because hopefully soon I have a sweater spin that I'm going to be starting, which in my 2026 winter plans and goals video, you can see that I have a goal this year of spinning my own yarn, or like sweater quantity yarn, and making that into a sweater. So I'm very happy that I got this, because then I can like do the whole 100 grams on this and then apply it and then blah 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 blah. So hopefully this will also be a semi-finished object, or like finished hank, if not a whip by the next video. But yeah, that was this. Okay, other than the jaunty spin along yarn, I don't have any acquisitions. Oh, I bought yarn with Woolberry Fiber Co.'s Farewell collection the other week, last week I think. Literally, it was the day I was filming my stash tour where I mentioned that. Y'all, they like closed their pre-order 3.5 hours into the pre-order, and like they got full capacity. So I went like I ordered a bunch of yarn. I definitely went into it this month. Probably like not a year's quota, but a couple months for me at least. I won't be seeing that yarn until like May, she was saying, was like their final shipping time. But I ordered Bee's Butt for socks for myself, and their cozy sock. Shop Girl for my mom, socks. Tree Crowns and I think it was Cozy Sock or the DK Weight for socks for my dad. And then Way of Delight and the Cozy Sock for my sister. They're all like gift knits, so I'm trying to get those out of the way. And then I bought mohair and 3 of the Surrey Delight or Baby Surrey and Way of Delight for a sweater. And then, or like to add to another yarn to make a sweater. And then I got gingerbread, and I think it was puffed sleeve in their Shaniko DK. I think I got 2 of them, because I have an idea to make like a modified striped pipe sweater. We'll see. I really like the light blue and brown colors together. I don't know what it is about that. It seems so nice. So we will see. I will show those when they come in, but that's going to be for a while. But yeah, that's everything I have this week. If you liked this video, give a comment on what you are knitting while you're watching this. Give a like and subscribe for future videos. And I will see you guys next time. Okay, thank you. Bye.